What in the world is this? So this was posted by AccuWeather, and if you look at their caption, it says straight out of Stranger Things, but they call them Amarita clouds. Not once, right, have I ever seen clouds look like this, and eerily, they look like those black flying things in the skies that I've spoken about quite often on all my channels. Now, I know somebody out there is going to say, well, this is normal. Me and my Meemaw, we would see these in the skies all the time sitting on the porch. Not my timeline, right? This does not occur in my timeline. But realistically, with all the things being sprayed in the skies, all the chemicals, eventually we're going to see stranger and stranger things. But this isn't the only video that was captured recently of these strange clouds. Take a look at this video from the Paranormal Chick.
Have you noticed something weird with our skies lately? Well, take a look at this video captured by a woman named Jazarine out of Santa Cruz, California. She captured this on July 22nd of 2026. The sky looks absolutely weird. It doesn't look real. Take a look at this video.
She was clarifying that this is not an AI video, and again, this is one day after AccuWeather's video. Multiple people are saying this looks like a Van Gogh painting. But in this next creepy video, take a look at what was captured here.
Look how small it is! Guess I'll throw this in the trash. I think they're too big for the trash. Mine! Mommy! Mommy! This is another one! Mine! This is another one, Mom!
What is it?
Look! Yeah! I threw it at you. Okay, I surrender. I surrender.
Babe, do you see my phone?
It's a double sign.
No, what the heck?
It's a devil sign.
There's something else coming off of it.
It's getting longer. There's a devil sign.
And this isn't the only person that's been capturing this, not one bit.
Two mother sons. I've been trying to catch these mother forever. Look at this. Can't make this up, cuz. Can't make this. There's no more denying it. Karina has it on footage.
That is undeniable. Hi, my name's Tabitha, and I think the sun is fake. At least there's something sitting above that sucker. So if you take your handy dandy front camera and then just zoom in like so and get it to oh, holy shit, that is so clear. Whoa. Okay. Wow. Okay, so that little green dot right there, that's what you guys call a lens flare. A lens flare is just the reflection of the light above. And I've always said that there's something sitting above that sucker. And so right there, the big dot is our sun. And the little dot is, yeah, I don't know what that is. There's something sitting above the sun. You can try to change my mind, but you're not changing my mind. We live in a simulation. We are the Sims. And yeah, there's something sitting above our sun. Change my mind. I mean, I literally can't make this shit up, guys. Like, I cannot make that up. You're telling me I'm sitting here lying, saying that there's something sitting above the sun when the proof is in the freaking pudding right there. That is undeniable.
But it's not just the sun. I've taken videos of this myself and so have other people, but very recently, the great Joe Giuseppe had captured this next to the moon.
This is the moon from the other night, or day. Look real close. Do you notice anything? I circled it. Do you notice anything next to the moon? Because there's something right there next to the moon. Now, I've seen pictures of this and videos of this all over the internet. And there's some massive object that seems to be right next to the moon. Let's look again, except closer. You know I like to look closer. See that circular object looks like it's just behind the moon? That thing has to be massive. Massive. Now, because so many people saw that, took pictures and recordings of it, astronomers, the powers to be, people in charge, whatever, have an answer. They say that that's Venus, the planet Venus behind the moon.
I have spoken about this object once before, matter of fact 5 months ago, and we were being told that it was just Mercury. But if you look at some of the videos and photos people had taken of this object, it's actually on the crescent of the moon. What's even more bizarre is that in the northern latitude, the Cheshire moon or the wet moon is appearing again in July, and I took a photo of this. And in the northern latitude, the Cheshire moon is not supposed to appear in the summer months. But yeah, we have a spherical object near the moon, and we have a spherical object near the sun, and the spherical object near the moon, they're saying is just another planet. Well, moving on, this is just so suspicious. Listen to this warning that's given to this Delta pilot.
All right, Delta 2604, LaGuardia Tower, wind 210 at 10, runway 22, clear to land, man-pad alert issued at LaGuardia Airport at 0027, use extreme caution.
All right, clear to land, runway 22, Delta 2604. And could you explain what a man-pad is?
Yeah, that's a manned portable air defense system. Yeah, it's basically it was a report of a rocket launcher.
Okay, where was that?
There was a report by the Port Authority Police. They said by, I believe, Terminal C. We had conflicting reports, but nothing has been an issue as of yet.
Okay, Delta 2604, thanks for the information.
You're welcome. No need to respond, Delta 2064. Port Authority Police reported it was non-credible threat.
Delta 2604, thanks.
So news is saying that police received a report from an anonymous caller claiming to be at the end of the runway with a rocket-propelled grenade and threatening to shoot down an aircraft. But it seems like they're trying to make this a prank call, but what if in actuality somebody actually called into police saying they saw somebody with a rocket launcher pointing it at planes, and news, media, and the police are trying to spin this another way? Eerily reminds me of TWA Flight 800. There were many theories that that plane was shot down by a missile or a rocket.
Did y'all see that video that lady recorded the night after 4th of July? And before I show this to you, I'm gonna let you know, I don't think that this is fireworks. That's what she said this is, and I don't think that's what this is. Yeah, in this first video, I would say it's fireworks because it looks like fireworks hitting the road in front of her house. But then a few minutes later, she captures something else. An orb of light flies down her road, and then you'll see it shoot up above her neighbor's house. I slowed it down so you could see it better. It's not a car, it's just an orb of light. It goes out of the camera shot and then flies above the neighbor's house. But then the next video is the weirdest, because the orb of light comes back, flies around, and leaves. Another thing I noticed too is when the orb of light is going down the road, you can see what looks like a man just standing in the neighbor's driveway, holding some sort of light. And then if you watch the next video back, you'll see that that orb of light goes where that man was and flies off. What do you guys think this is?
That video was by Whoa That's Strange, and that looks like a phenomenon they call ball lightning. But it also looked like it had gained some awareness. I saw this next video off Machka's channel, and between that cell that they supposedly made and this, what exactly are they doing?
Scientists have designed a virus that makes an organism evolve more quickly. This virus causes the organism to mutate 160,000 times quicker than what it should do. And I'm not joking. Evolution normally depends on random mutations, and if those random mutations are beneficial, it gives the organism a survival advantage. But the rate of mutation is often slow, and hence evolution is slow. And scientists wanted to speed up this process by a lot. And here's how they did it. They infected bacteria with a designed virus, and the virus was designed to cause rapid mutation of the DNA in the bacteria. After the virus has rapidly mutated the DNA, the virus then bursts out of the cell, taking with it the mutant DNA. The virus that burst out of the host cell can then infect other bacteria, and those newly infected bacteria now also contain the mutant DNA. If the mutant DNA contains a survival advantage, then those infected bacteria will thrive. And this allows the bacteria to evolve at a rate much faster than they would in the wild. And what they saw as a consequence of this was really insane. After just 5 cycles, they evolved bacteria that had the ability to cope with 25 times the amount of a specific antibiotic. But it's not all fear. We can actually do something incredibly useful with this technology. The scientists were also able to evolve bacteria that got better at feeding off the breakdown products of plastic. Showing the ability to control evolution allows us to evolve organisms with incredibly useful functions. And now this technology is out there, I wonder what we should evolve them to do next.
I feel like they're trying to make Resident Evil no longer fiction. They really need to stop playing God.
Enjoy those night skies and stargazing while you can. The FCC just approved Reflect Orbital, something that is going to put satellites in the sky to reflect sunlight back to specific areas of the Earth. This means that they can use satellites to actually beam sunlight back to the Earth in areas that otherwise would be nighttime. Many of our cycles of life depend on sunlight, and this could potentially interrupt that, especially life forms that depend on reliable dark cycles. So far, they've approved at least one of these test satellites, but they plan to have 50,000 of these mirror reflecting, sunlight delivering, on demand satellites. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of a James Bond villain who was trying to block out the sun. That is, if you're familiar with The Spy Who Loved Me. That part of the James Bond series, this supervillain wanted to block out the sun to create an entirely new civilization. Now, of course, this is not blocking out the sun. This is offering to deliver you sunlight on demand if you have the money. Enjoy those night skies and stargazing while you can.
That video was by Respect Your Tech Talks, and again, they won't stop playing God until something goes wrong. But moving on, tech giant Brian Johnson, who's famous for doing blood transfers between himself, his son, and his father, in an attempt to live forever, posted this on X on the 21st. That he cloned himself as a newborn, and with this, he can become his own blood boy, test therapies on the clone, grow organs for transplantation, develop new treatments, inject young cells. But it's clarified in the context below that this is not a full-on clone of himself as a baby, but as he puts it, baby Brian lives in a petri dish for now. And I think what he's talking about is something similar to these brain organoids that I had spoken about once before. Like, for example, those brain organoids that were trapped in a game of doom, basically hell. It's an absolute nightmare to be stuck in, and there's many arguments going about that these brain organoids possess some type of sentience consciousness. But if this is what they're admitting to, imagine what they're really doing. But he goes on to say that this technology is already being used in clinical trials for Parkinson's, heart health, and eyesight. But he sees this technology as a path to reverse aging. And as he even puts on his X account, conquering death will be humanity's greatest achievement. But I don't think that's going to be humanity's greatest achievement, just like the book of Revelation says that people are going to long for death and death will not come. But it's not just him, his father, or his son, but a lot of these tech giants do not want to die. They don't want to see what's waiting for them on the other side. Like, for example, there are some trying to figure out how to upload their consciousness to the cloud. You have others like Peter the Reptile Theo that have companies like Ambrosia, where they're taking the blood from the young and transferring it to themselves. Who exactly are these young people that they're taking this blood from? We're never told. They just say it's donated from the young. This eerily reminds me of a movie that came out all the way back in 2005 called The Island, which starred Scarlett Johansson. The film was about 2 human clones who lived in a dystopian compound isolated from the outside world, and they learned that the compound inhabitants are clones used for organ harvesting as well as surrogacy for wealthy people. This whole cloning stuff is nothing new. They've been doing it for decades upon decades. They have to tell us in their movies, they tell us in their social media posts.
Strictly speaking, it would be legal to clone me, for example, tomorrow. And this is the place it's most likely to happen, a leading IVF clinic outside of New York. Behind those walls, there are people with the technology, the ability, and the desire to genetically engineer human embryos, to be the first in the world to successfully clone a human being.
There's no doubt that human beings will be cloned.
Dr. Jacques Cohen, a leader in his field, simply needs the approval of his clinic's ethics committee to make history. So if I had the money, you had the permission, you could clone me tomorrow.
Well, I wouldn't say tomorrow. It'll take a year or two. We could clone you probably within 2 years.
What you're seeing here is an actual cloning taking place at the research facility in Scotland that pioneered the technique. In theory, it's blindingly simple. Here, it's an animal. But just as easily, you can take a cell from a human. A scraping of skin will do. Then, get an egg from a female, remove the nucleus and fuse the two with a spark of electricity. And ta-da! You have an embryo. Implant the embryo in a woman, and 9 months later, you have a carbon copy of the person from whom the skin scraping was taken.
And whether it's actual human bodies, which I do believe it is that they're cloning, coming in all sizes from babies to adults, or something like these brain organoids, either way, it's absolutely terrifying stuff.
I'm going to say goodbye now. What? There's nothing more that I can do now.
In December of 2024, a woman named Lindsay uploaded footage recorded outside of her home late at night. Now, Lindsay lives alone and quickly dialed 911, but the reason this footage quickly spread online was not due to the man outside. It was due to the emergency call playing in the background, because as the camera continued recording, you can hear Lindsay pleading with the dispatch to send police.
There is nobody outside.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm looking at them right now. Can they drive by it again, or did they get the wrong house?
They're not going to come by again.
What?
They said they've come by and there's nobody out there, ma'am.
Oh, but they didn't come to the right place.
They did.
I don't understand why they can't drive by again.
Ma'am, officer has already come out there.
Why didn't he knock on my door or talk to me or any of that?
Ma'am, I can't answer those questions because I'm not an officer. All I can tell you
Can
is
you talk?
out there.
Can you talk to the officer?
I did already, ma'am. That's how I know he
What
came
did he
to the
say
house.
exactly? Did he pass a red house?
Ma'am, there's nobody there.
He was standing in the doorway.
Ma'am?
I don't...
Hello? Ma'am?
So I've got this strange man walking around my house and y'all aren't going to help me. He's coming up to my porch again.
Ma'am?
What?
I'm going to say goodbye now.
What?
There's nothing more that I can do, ma'am. All right? You have a good night.
The masked man was still outside, and the dispatcher didn't even believe her, and Lindsay would describe how she had never felt more helpless. Lindsay would then call her father, who would immediately hop in the car and dial 911. Minutes later, police would then come back to Lindsay's house, where they would find the man and get a handle on the situation.
Well, he said that he was talking to a girl that said, meet him behind the hot spot. Well, I mean, he was clean. I think he was trying to meet a girl and somebody's messing with him.
Thank you. I just wasn't comfortable.
However, viewers of this video were appalled by Spartanburg 911's dispatcher, so much so that they needed to make a statement in which they announced their regret for this situation and that it would be formally investigated. They would then acknowledge that the way the call was handled did not reflect the agency's policies, compassion, or core values, and claimed that the dispatcher did in fact call police back to the residence, but did not relay that to the caller. And in their final update, Spartanburg 911 said it would not take matters lightly and would implement measures intended to prevent a similar incident from happening again.
That video was by Real Horror Talk. This happened back in 2024, and the lack of compassion in trying to control the situation is really insane. And when it comes to any updates, this dispatcher was never fired or faced any disciplinary action.
Okay, this video is going viral right now, which was filmed in the year 2000 in New York City. Now, take a look and see if you notice something significantly different about the setting then versus now. And it's kind of like this. You know how we lived through the 90s? Many of you, some of you are listening and you didn't live through the 90s or the early 2000s, but you don't really know you went through an era until the era is gone. So in the year 2000, we went from, and this is part of what you'll witness and you'll notice in this, in these clips here, is that we went from zero technology, bicycling until the streetlights come on, to now iPads strapped to your forehead in order to eat at a restaurant so you don't bug your parents. I mean, this is what people are doing. So you notice no one's on their cell phone, dude. I don't even know how many people had cell phones back then, like 20. No pagers, no GPS action, no screens in their cars. Oh, and all the old cars, there's Times Square for you, which was this before cash for clunkers when they got everyone to give their perfectly good vehicle up for a few grand and then boom, bang, bang, a million cars that you could fix in your driveway today if you still had, you no longer have? I don't know, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, this video is going viral right now, which was filmed.
That video was by Shane Vibes, and it's really sad to see. It really feels like night and day, a whole different world before tech just took over everything. The early 2000s, that time period between 2000 and 2010, was the best period, the best blend of just real world and technology.
So the question needs to be asked once again. Is our food a science project? And why do I say that? Because a woman who recently purchased Nature's Own protein hot dog buns took one out of the package and noticed something very weird about it when she squished it. Have a look at this video for yourself. Check this out.
So I don't usually make videos, but I want you to watch some crazy crap. Oh, look. Nature's Own. Oh, look. It's supposed to be non-GMO. Oh, here's the hot dog bun. Watch what happens to this crap when I squeeze it. Oh my God.
Returns to full shape.
Really? It's gonna return to its original shape. You really think I'm gonna eat that crap?
It's just incredible to see every single day something new that people purchase at a supermarket that claims to be protein non-GMO get squished like this and look like this in the plate, and then just moments later retake and regain its normal shape. And once again, this is all caused by the dough's conditioners and additives. And those additives include emulsifiers, enzymes, and even oxidating agents. Can you just imagine putting that into your body? How does one's body digest such things? So I guess my question to you is our food a science experiment?
That video was by the Jody69, and our food is such a science experiment that is banned in many countries. Matter of fact, this is not the only video of bread being weird.
Oh no.
Oh
my goodness.
And I'll go get my phone.
What? Look. That's disgusting.
Bread doesn't even mold like it used to. It takes forever for it to mold, if it even does.
Obviously, I think most people would find this a little bit questionable, you know. I don't know how many drinks you drink that look like this, but hopefully not many. Now, she says that this is safe to drink, but is it really? Well, let's take a look at what's actually in these Starbucks refreshers. Well, here we have the controversial ingredients. One of them is Red 40. We all know about Red 40, but again, this isn't in all the Starbucks refreshers. It's just in a couple, like the strawberry acai and the mango dragon fruit. We have artificial flavors and natural flavors. Now, keep in mind that these are extremely controversial because their chemicals are highly processed and they're only approved by the GRAS loophole. That is a generally recognized as safe. That is Big Food approving their own chemicals. Of course, they have a high sugar content. They have preservatives like these here. Preservatives are to extend shelf life, but they are highly controversial. And then the acai base, which is generally fine, but sourcing and processing can be questionable. So overall, these are not the worst thing you can drink on the planet. But again, you should probably stay away from anything with preservatives and stuff like natural flavors and artificial flavors. But in America, that is obviously very hard.
I saw that video by Wall Street Apes, and it's just another reminder of the disgusting things people put in their bodies that just look like straight slime.
Yeah, I won't see nothing. Right there, look, stop. That's that one.
It is. You see
Oh my gosh. Back
That's
up
an
a little.
old abandoned house, and it looks like somebody is in the window. Oh my gosh.
Please throw a rock at it or something.
Does it move?
Send that to me.
We had to turn around and come back so we can get a better look. Now look how scary that house is. Oh my gosh. What's in his hand? That is scary.
That video was by Snowballs Island 1981, and something tells me that's probably some sort of statue up there to stop people from going into that house. You can see that the grass is freshly cut, but either way, I wouldn't stay there too long.
One of the strangest unsolved mysteries to exist, but nobody ever talks about it. A 61-year-old man goes into the hospital for abdominal surgery and disappears, vanishes without a trace. They search and search and search for him. They can't figure out where this man went and how it would even be physically possible for him to go anywhere at all. Then, 2 weeks later, he is found in the ceiling of the hospital. And is it coincidence that another man was also found in a similar fashion in the same country? So, like I said, our story starts with a 61-year-old man named Tadatiki, who went in for surgery at the Stellenbosch Hospital on October 5th, 2017. The surgery went just as planned, and afterward he was wheeled into the recovery room to begin his healing journey and was expected to recover just fine. But while tending to him in the recovery room, Tadatiki's nurse left him alone for what she claimed was just a few seconds to grab some clean linens, and when she walked back into his room, the hospital bed was empty. Now, the nurse is obviously confused, right? Because she's certain that because of his condition, he couldn't have gotten far. After all, he is completely bedridden and could not move independently. So she doesn't know what to do. She's looked around and can't find him, so she calls Tadatiki's family, thinking maybe they know where he went to. And the family begins to panic because what do you mean he's missing after a successful surgery? He's supposed to be under your care. So they rush to the hospital to search the grounds themselves, and after no luck, they contact police to search for him, but police also turn up no sign of him. Now, fast forward 13 days. A construction crew renovating the hospital discovers Tadatiki's decomposing body in an isolated area of the hospital ceiling, an area that is largely inaccessible to reach even for a capable person, let alone a man that just had major abdominal surgery, or even for someone attempting to lift a grown man above their heads by themselves. Now, police would report that Tadatiki's autopsy pointed toward natural causes of death and told his family that nothing more could be done. 2 years later, a 53-year-old construction worker named Sandil was admitted to a different hospital but had something very similar happen to him. Sandil was brought to the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Hospital after suffering a broken femur during a construction job. After having an assessment, his doctor suggested that he be transferred to a different hospital for treatment. But as Sandil waited for this transfer, he somehow vanished. Just like in Tadatiki's case, a nurse had stepped out, came back in to check on him, and found him missing. A search was conducted, no trace of him was found. But weeks later, when hospital staff began complaining about a foul smell and a leak dripping down from the ceiling, they found Sandil, a man with a broken femur, inside the hospital ceiling. So obviously there's a lot of questions here. How would both of these men even be able to walk around in their state without someone noticing? And if someone in the hospital is responsible for their deaths, why? How? What for? Let me know your theories in the comments.
That video was by Oddities on Elm Street, and I wonder if the doctors told the families that their surgeries went successful like in the first case, and they really didn't. They actually passed away during the surgery, and so they didn't get in any trouble. They hid the bodies. Really makes you wonder how often that actually happens.